Hello there, this is James Croft, the goes 1978, and having recently given up on watching another animated series called Out There because it was yet another high school comedy drama with a moody and introspective teenager surrounded by absurdly over-the-top stock characters like a cross between Daria and My So-Called Life, I was originally intrigued by the premise of Sit Down and Shut Up, because while also being set in a high school, the series revolves entirely around the staff, not the students. However, if jumping the shark is defined as reaching a point when far-fetched events are included merely for the sake of novelty, then Sit Down and Shut Up jumped the shark in the very first episode, with the hippie New Age creationist science teacher who later claims in another episode that science is voodoo created by Jews to sell as medicine and stuff, supposedly having only gotten the job because she made a point about not coming from a monkey by emerging naked in front of the school board from a giant model of a monkey's vagina, and even before that, it's revealed in the pilot episode that the new assistant principal's previous job was apparently prison clown, literally a clown working in a prison. The main plot of the episode being that the school is desperate to earn money by winning a football game, and having found some drugs that could be anything but might be steroids which the football team can use to win the game if you have no idea how steroids work, they get the assistant principal to take them only to discover that they're female hormones after he grows breasts in a single week. And frankly, the series just goes downhill from there. Indeed, there is so much that I should be offended by, with the writers having apparently graduated from the Family Guy school of be as crude and offensive as possible in lieu of originality or comedy, in the hopes that stoners might confuse this with being edgy and or funny, from the stereotypical Muslim, in inverted commas, janitor who eventually speaks English in the later episodes, to the quote-unquote bisexual drama teacher, of whom the science teacher only had to seduce the top half, because, he's bisexual, and bis are all literally half gay and half straight, don't you know? But in the end, though, everything is so ridiculously over the top that it's impossible to believe that even the most bigoted and delusional biphobe, Islamophobe, transphobe, or any other kind of bigot would take it seriously, meaning that, ironically enough, the series would be a joke if it wasn't so cripplingly unfunny. Beyond that as well, there's the fact that the fourth wall doesn't even exist to be broken to begin with in this series, with the characters making constant references to the fact that it's a cartoon, including in one episode when the principal tells off the assistant principal for using Looney Tunes jokes when, quote, "this tune is not loony," and to top it all off, in the fourth episode, fourth out of 13, they devote the first part to describing what type of stock characters there are, and then exclaiming that, wow, that was over quickly, asking if this was a webisode, before having realised in the most intelligent, self-aware, and ironically hipster manner that they can't do a clip show yet because they don't have enough content, spend the rest of the episode recreating the plot of an 80s comedy movie, explaining how their actions and their motivations are in line with the tropes and cliches of such films. When all is said and done then, having now watched Daria, The Amazing World of Gumball, and made videos explaining how each series is nothing but the same old sitcom stock characters, tropes and cliches in a slightly different package using a slightly different unique selling point, Sit Down and Shut Up has finally convinced me that for all intents and purposes, regardless of whether they're animated or live action, all sitcoms are now effectively dead. Because just as Sherlock demonstrated that the entire murder mystery genre is now dead when my friend Alex roped me into watching a few episodes back in 2013, and I quickly realised that no, these are exactly the same character tropes, plots, twists, mysteries and reveals that Sir Arthur Conan Doyle developed more than a century ago, only in a modern setting with modern camera work and editing. While there may be one or two out there in the last 20 years that break the mould and are actually funny, it's not worth sifting through a mountain of rabbit droppings only to find one or two sultanas, when you could simply go to a shop that sells dried fruit, i.e. stick with anime and East Asian cinema and dramas. Similar to how my friend Astrovex is no longer willing to waste his life sifting through mountains of Five Nights at Freddy's rip-offs on Game Jolt simply to find one or two good games of which he can actually make Let's Plays on his channel. On a slight tangent before I go, however, the only good thing that came from watching Sit Down and Shut Up after reviewing 2 Japanese movies in a row is that it helped me to finally understand why I adore movies in particular in which the characters, their emotions and their relationships are the story, with that reason being that without even trying or wanting to do so, I always seem to end up deconstructing and dissecting every movie and TV series that I ever watch while I'm watching it in my subconscious mind. Because as pretentious and as conceited as this will inevitably make me sound, when I'm watching, reading or listening to a story in inverted commas, that is to say, a work of fiction in which the characters exist solely to carry the narrative forward and to convey a message or moral to the audience, that is what my subconscious mind is focused on. Not what is happening, but why. What message does it convey? So when a series such as Sit Down and Shut Up comes along that is not only nothing but an utterly meaningless and entirely pointless string of offensive and outlandish gags, innuendo, one-liners, cliches, tropes, stock characters, and increasingly absurd and ridiculously contrived situations, but actually explains that it is all of that and that it is utterly meaningless in the hopes that being ironically terrible will score some it's so bad it's good points with the self-aware ironic hipster crowd, it really helps me to finally and fully appreciate the reality that I love films and series in which the characters, their emotions and their relationships are the story, because there is no way to predict what will happen and nothing to analyse or dissect, since there are no formulas, tropes or cliches, and nor does my subconscious mind analyse the meaning of what the creator sought to convey, because it's all right there on the screen, a recreation and exploration of what it truly means to be human, meaning that I'm finally free to actually become engaged with the characters and thus with the story, without my damn subconscious analysing and deconstructing everything from an artistic and sociological perspective. So in conclusion then, while I always invite everyone to share any TV series or movies which they believe aren't merely the same old pig in a different silk hat, please don't be surprised if I never review any English language animated or live action TV series on this channel ever again, unless of course the ghost of Watcher Azazel haunts me until I finally agree to do so.